book is so loved and so special to its readers. And so, of course, there's a kind of tension about, are we going to mess this up?
That was challenging when you're trying to do something which is a very subtle transformation from a rather pale young girl into a rather beautiful young woman who's very sure of what she's about, or is arriving into what she's about by the end of the story. And judging all of that out of order, trying to make sure that all the pieces of the mosaic would be right to be laid out, took a bit of thought.
I really do feel the weight that you experience, the heaviness that you experience when you're homesick, and you leave home for the first time and haven't quite settled anywhere and are sort of floating between these two different places, and you can't quite go back to where you're from, but you're not quite settled in this place that you're moving towards either.
You're reading the book and you see how little is left in the book. When she meets Jim, you think there is no way that I'm going to be persuaded that she should stay in Ireland. And Colum's extraordinary achievement is that in the little space that he has left in the book, he persuades us that they are viable alternatives to each other.
The unusual thing about having these two male characters in this story, it's, we've seen it a few times in films over the past few years where there's a girl and she's torn between two hunks or whatever, and it's like, which one is hotter? But with this, they represent something. The two of them represent these two very, very different worlds, and I think what's lovely about it and what I hope helped Emery and Donal is that they represent a life to her, and they're both wonderful young men and both very sincere in how they feel and what they want, and I think she responds to that with both of them.
That sort of conflict it's either very sharp in a film or else it would be rather flat, and if it's tilted in one direction it wouldn't work as well as drama. And I always had a secret wish for one outcome, but you have to sort of put that away.
What would I do? It's tough because I have to say, when reading the book and reading the script and watching the film, I could totally justify her staying in Ireland. I can understand the draw, and I think, as Colm said, when you go back to a place, when you spent so much time lost in this other place, even if you have found yourself and you've started to settle, to then for that to all be thrown up in the air again and go back home to where it will always be simple, there will be that level of security, and it will just be easy in that way. I can understand that completely. I do think I'd probably go back. It depends on the guy as well, though. It depends on the bloke, do you know what I mean? If the guy is nicer in Ireland, then no, I think I'd probably go back to New York. But it's hard to say, I think, like Eilis, once you've had a taste of travel as well, and once you've gotten that confidence after you've, made yourself something in a different place. I mean, that experience in New York is very much her own. It's nobody else's. And she shares it with other people, but it's her that's made it what it is through her determination and her spirit, And that would be hard to give up, I think.